Have you ever stood up from your favorite chair, only to feel a little off balance? Or maybe you bumped into the corner of a table, and a dark purple bruise showed up faster than you expected? It might seem small. Just a stumble. Just a bruise. But sometimes, these are little whispers from our bodies, telling us something deeper is going on. And if you've had that feeling too, believe me, you're not alone. As we age, our bodies go through changes that aren't always obvious. We may not notice our bones slowly losing their strength, or our posture changing just a little over time. And because it's so gradual, we might brush it off. I'm just getting older, we say. But here's the thing, it's not just age. It could be a sign that our bones are crying out for help. It could be osteoporosis. Osteoporosis doesn't make a big entrance. It doesn't come with sharp pain or sudden symptoms in the beginning. In fact, many people don't even realize they have it until something serious happens, like a broken hip after a fall. That's why this conversation matters. Because the earlier we notice the signs, the better chance we have of protecting ourselves. And I want you to feel strong, steady, and confident, not afraid of a misstep or worried every time you walk down the stairs. In today's video, we're going to talk about something that I think everyone over 60 should hear, the 4 quiet but critical warning signs of osteoporosis. These are signs you might not have realized are connected to your bones, but they absolutely are. And most importantly, we're going to talk about what you can do about them. There are simple, daily steps you can take to strengthen your bones and feel more stable. It's never too late to make changes, and they don't have to be drastic to be effective. And hey, if you love topics about health, emotional wellness, and living a meaningful life after 60, I'd be so grateful if you gave this video a like, shared it with someone you care about, and hit that subscribe button. I'm on a journey to reach 1,000 subscribers, and with your support, I can keep creating content that helps us all feel a little more vibrant, a little more alive, every day. Alright, now let's start with the first subtle sign that your bones might be weakening, and what you can do to take back control of your bone health. Let's talk about height. Yes, height. Have you ever noticed that your pants are suddenly too long? Or someone you haven't seen in a while says, "You look shorter." It might feel like a strange thing to point out, but losing height is one of the earliest and most overlooked signs of osteoporosis. You see, our spine is made up of small bones called vertebrae. When osteoporosis sets in, those bones can start to collapse in tiny ways. Not enough to cause immediate pain, but enough that over months or years, you lose an inch here, an inch there. It might be tempting to chalk it up to bad posture or age, but it's worth paying attention to. Shrinking in height by more than half an inch a year or more than 2 inches overall could be a red flag. It doesn't mean something terrible is happening, but it does mean your bones might be calling out for a little love and attention. So what can you do? First, don't ignore the change. Get your height checked once a year, at your regular doctor visits, or even at home using a flat wall and a pencil. Keep track. Second, think about posture exercises. Gentle yoga, tai chi, or simple stretches can keep your spine aligned and your muscles strong. And finally, get your calcium and vitamin D. You don't need fancy supplements right away. Sometimes, a glass of milk, leafy greens, or a sunny walk can do wonders. Talk with your doctor to see what's best for you. Now, let's move to another sign that can sneak up on you, the one that might show up when you least expect it. Imagine this, you're reaching up to grab a plate, or maybe turning quickly to look behind you, and suddenly, a sharp pain in your back or hip flares up. Not from an injury, not from overexertion. It just happens. This kind of sudden, unexplained pain, especially in the lower back or hips, could be a silent fracture. These silent, or compression, fractures are exactly what they sound like. They don't always come with swelling or bruising, so they're easy to ignore or misdiagnose. You might just feel sore for a few days and assume you slept funny or strained something. But if it keeps happening, or feels deep and aching rather than muscular, it might be more than a pulled muscle. Now here's where we take action. First, if you experience that kind of pain, don't tough it out. Get it checked. A bone density scan can be quick and painless and give you a clear picture of what's happening beneath the surface. Second, take a moment to think about your daily movements. Are you lifting heavy things suddenly? Are you bending or twisting too fast? Try to move with a little more intention. Use your legs when lifting. Avoid jerky twists. Protect your back the way you'd protect a fragile heirloom, because really, it is. And please know, feeling pain doesn't mean you're weak. It means your body is trying to talk to you. And when we listen, we give ourselves the chance to heal before things get worse. Now, let's move gently into another sign that many people notice, but few connect to bone health. Have you ever caught yourself hunching forward, or felt like it's getting harder to stand or sit up straight for long periods of time? Maybe your shoulders slump a bit, or you've noticed a curve in the upper part of your back that didn't used to be there. That hunched posture, or what doctors call a dowager's hump, can be one of the clearest external signs of weakening spinal bones. When the vertebrae compress, the spine naturally starts to bend forward. It's not just a matter of appearance. That curve can throw off your balance, make walking more difficult, and even affect your breathing if it gets severe enough. Here's the good news. You can absolutely work to improve this. Gentle resistance exercises, like light hand weights or resistance bands, can help strengthen the muscles along your spine. And daily awareness of your posture, just taking a moment to check in with how you're sitting or standing, can make a world of difference. Even sitting against a wall for a few minutes a day, with your shoulders back and feet flat on the ground, can help retrain your spine into better alignment. And you know what? It's not about looking like you're 20 again. It's about feeling upright, proud, and strong. It's about giving yourself the gift of movement, comfort, and confidence. Now that we've talked about shrinking height, sudden aches, and posture changes, let's look deeper into how our everyday actions might be revealing more about our bones than we think. Let's take a moment to think about something simple, standing on one foot. Try it right now if you're able, just for a second or two. Does it feel steady? Or a little shaky? Maybe you find yourself reaching for the back of a chair, just in case. Here's why I ask. One of the lesser-known warning signs of osteoporosis isn't just in your bones, it's in your balance. Our bones and muscles work together as a team. When bones become brittle, our body starts to compensate without us even realizing. You might start walking a bit slower, using your hands more to push off when you rise from a chair, or feeling unsure when the ground is uneven. That's your body adapting to subtle instability. The truth is, when your bones weaken, your sense of balance often follows, not because your inner ear has changed, but because your body no longer feels as structurally secure. It's not just inconvenient. Poor balance leads to more trips, more falls, and that's when fractures become dangerous. A single fall after 60 can change everything, especially if it results in a broken hip or wrist. That's why working on balance, even in tiny ways each day, is one of the kindest things you can do for your body. You don't need to join a gym or do anything extreme. Start small. Stand at your kitchen counter and lift one foot for 10 seconds while brushing your teeth. Walk in a straight line, heel to toe, like you're walking on a tightrope. Or try gentle ankle circles while seated to keep those stabilizer muscles engaged. These quiet little movements build confidence and coordination. And they don't just help prevent falls, they help you feel more in control, more grounded in your body. Balance is like trust, it builds slowly and disappears quickly. But if you stay consistent, your body remembers how to move with ease. And when you move with ease, every part of life feels a little lighter. Now, I want to share something a bit more personal. You know, I recently spoke with a woman in her 70s who told me something that stuck with me. She said, "I didn't know my bones were in trouble until I broke a rib while sneezing." That might sound dramatic, but it's more common than you think. And it leads us to another powerful warning sign: increased fragility. Have you ever had a bruise pop up from something you don't even remember hitting? Or felt soreness in a joint after a very minor activity? Maybe you pressed a little too hard closing a car door, or leaned on a counter a certain way, and later, there's a deep ache that lingers longer than it should. These are the kinds of subtle signs that your bones might not be as resilient as they used to be. Bones are living tissue. They regenerate. They get stronger with use. But if they're not getting the right signals, through weight-bearing movement, proper nutrients, or hormonal support, they can begin to thin. That thinning makes them more fragile, which means even a minor bump can have a bigger consequence. But again, this isn't something to fear. It's something to respond to, with gentleness and wisdom. One of the best ways to start building bone strength is through simple, weight-bearing movements. That doesn't mean lifting heavy weights or doing lunges in your living room. It can be as easy as walking with a bit more purpose. Climbing stairs. Gardening. Carrying groceries in both hands instead of one. These everyday movements give your bones the message, we're still needed. Stay strong. And don't forget your diet. Calcium gets all the attention, and it's important, but your bones also need magnesium, vitamin K2, and protein. That's right. Protein isn't just for building muscle. It helps your bones, too. A bowl of yogurt, a few almonds, a serving of beans, they all count. Small, nourishing choices, made consistently, build resilience from the inside out. Let's not forget hydration. You might not think of water as connected to bone health, but dehydration affects everything from your joints to your spinal discs. So pour yourself a glass right now. Your body will thank you. And while we're here, let me say something important. If you've already had a fracture, you are not broken. You are healing. And healing doesn't just mean mending bones, it means restoring faith in your body, one day at a time. Let's shift the lens a little now. Picture yourself in the morning. You wake up, stretch gently, maybe shuffle to the bathroom or the kitchen. Do you ever notice that your movements feel stiff, especially in your back or hips? That stiffness eases a little as the day goes on, but it returns again the next morning, like clockwork. This stiffness, especially if it's centered in your spine, could be a quiet companion of osteoporosis. You might think stiffness is just from getting older, but there's more to it. When bones start to lose density, they sometimes create microcompressions in the spine. That changes how your muscles react. They tighten to protect you. It's your body's way of saying, something here doesn't feel quite right. Now, instead of fighting the stiffness or ignoring it, what if we just met it with a little grace? Gentle movement first thing in the morning. A warm shower to relax the muscles. A slow roll of the shoulders. Stretch your arms up toward the ceiling. Do a few seated knee lifts to engage your core. None of this takes more than 5 minutes, but it sets a tone. It tells your body, I'm here. I care. And over time, that care adds up. The more you move with intention, the more flexible you feel. The more flexible you feel, the less tension builds up. And little by little, the stiffness gives way to strength. That's the beauty of this stage of life. We get to redefine what strength looks like. It's not about lifting heavy or pushing hard. It's about consistency, awareness, and love. When we tune into the whispers of our body, we give ourselves the gift of prevention instead of reaction. And that, my friend, is powerful. So here's what I'd love for you to do today. Choose one small action. Maybe it's balancing while brushing your teeth. Maybe it's going for a walk after lunch. Maybe it's just standing a little taller while you wait for the kettle to boil. These moments may seem tiny, but they add up to a life that feels more solid, more supported, and more alive. You're not too old. It's not too late. Your bones are listening, and they're ready to get stronger with you. Now let's talk about something that most people don't realize is connected to their bones: height loss. Have you ever looked in the mirror and thought, I swear I used to be taller? Or maybe you noticed your pants seem just a little longer than they used to be, or the top shelf in the kitchen feels a little more out of reach. You're not imagining it. Shrinking is real, and while a small decrease in height can be normal with age, more significant loss, especially over an inch or two, might be a sign that something deeper is happening in your spine. Your vertebrae, those small bones in your back, are like little building blocks that stack up to hold you upright. When osteoporosis sets in, those bones can start to compress, especially in the mid-back. These are called vertebral compression fractures, and often, they happen silently, without any big dramatic fall. Instead, you might just notice your posture changing. Shoulders slump forward, the back rounds a little more, and suddenly, it's harder to take a deep breath or look straight ahead when walking. That rounding isn't just a cosmetic change. It affects how you move, how you digest food, even how deeply you breathe. But here's the good news: you can improve your posture, protect your spine, and even slow or stop height loss by becoming more intentional with how you move through your day. Start with awareness. Pay attention to how you sit, especially during meals or when watching TV. Try sitting up just a bit taller, rolling your shoulders back, and lifting your chest ever so slightly. Imagine there's a string attached to the top of your head, gently pulling you upward. Even that small mental cue can make a huge difference. Add in some light back strengthening exercises, too. Things like shoulder blade squeezes while standing at the sink or gentle wall push-ups to engage your upper body. These movements encourage the muscles around your spine to stay active and supportive, giving your bones a better chance at staying strong. And don't underestimate the power of a good night's sleep, on a supportive mattress and pillow that keep your spine aligned. Rest is when your body heals. It's not lazy, it's necessary. Now, I know that all of this, balance, fragility, posture, can sound a little overwhelming. But I want you to hear this: your body is not against you. It is constantly trying to communicate with you. These signs, these sensations, they're not warnings of defeat. They're invitations to pay attention, to nurture, to heal. And healing doesn't mean doing everything perfectly. It just means showing up for yourself in the small moments. Choosing movement over stillness when you can. Choosing nourishment over convenience when possible. Choosing curiosity over fear when you notice a change in your body. Let me tell you about Robert, a friend of mine in his late 60s. He used to joke that he was getting shorter by the week. He chalked it up to age, until one day he reached for a dish in his kitchen and felt a sharp pain in his back. Turns out, it was a vertebral fracture. That moment scared him, but it also changed him. He started walking every day, adding stretching to his morning routine, and with the help of his doctor, began a bone support supplement plan. A year later, he told me, "I didn't just stop shrinking, I started growing back into myself." That's the kind of transformation that's possible, no matter your age. Before we close, I want to leave you with something gentle but powerful: you are not fragile. You are not broken. You are dynamic, living, and capable of growth, inside and out. Aging doesn't mean losing. It means learning. It means discovering new ways to care for this incredible body that's carried you through so much already. So today, maybe you take a moment to listen to your body without judgment. Maybe you stretch a little more deeply. Maybe you reach out to a friend to go for a walk. Or maybe you simply pour yourself a glass of water and say, "I'm doing the best I can." Because you are. If anything we've shared today resonated with you, if you recognized yourself in the signs we talked about or felt inspired by the small steps you can take, I'd love to hear about it in the comments. Your story might be exactly what someone else needs to hear. And if you found this video helpful, don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe to the channel. It helps us keep sharing this kind of meaningful content with more people who truly need it. We're growing this community one heart at a time, and I'd be honored to have you on this journey. Remember, your bones are the framework of your life, but it's your spirit that holds it all together. Keep showing up. Keep choosing strength. Keep believing that you are worth every bit of care, love, and nourishment this world has to offer. Here's to living fully, joyfully, and powerfully, at any age.